Hello, friends. Welcome back to Aunt Debbie's Boutique. Unfortunately, I'm starting this video off on the wrong foot. I must have had it in some sort of fast speed, and I don't have a clue what I'm saying or pointing to in this picture. But what I was trying to get across was we were going to finish up, finally, the village quilt we've been working on. And I put up a temporary design wall and arranged all the blocks that we've made to date and have them all ready to put together. Then I'm going to take the first row all in order, and I'm going to put a 2-inch piece of sashing between all the blocks. Now the sashing I have cut is all the exact same size, so I will force each block to be that size. And you just do that by pinning the start and the end, and just if it doesn't match perfectly, you just give it a little tug and it will match, unless you're really, really far off. So I'm going to sew each row together, and the first row I'm going to bring you along with me while I sew it. So sit back and enjoy. Thank you. I'm going to iron these towards the sashing. All right, there's the top row all put together. I hope this is a little better angle than I had before, and a little better well lit. I'm still trying to figure everything out with my new setup, and I am going to have a real design board as soon as I can find a way to get the insulated foam boards to my house. They won't fit in my car, so I've got to call in a favor with a friend to get them here, and then I'll have a real design board. This is just a temporary one. Okay, I'm going to put the rest of the rows together, and you can watch them progress. Okay, there's all 7 rows completed with the sashing in between. It went together real smoothly, so I'm pleased with it so far. Now I'm going to put the sashing in between the rows, and they're all cut to the exact same length. And how I'll do that is I'll pin both ends, and I'll find the middle of both the sashing and the row of blocks, and I'll pin it in the middle. And then I'll stretch and squeeze to get it to fit to the exact size of my sashing. So when I'm done, my quilt will be perfectly square. Now obviously if it's off a whole lot, you can't do that. You'll have to go back and remake a block or something like that. But if it's just off a 1/4 of an inch or so from one end to the other, you can work that in real easily. So I'm going to go sew these 7 rows together. Then there's a 3-inch white border that goes around the edge, and I'll put that on. And when I come back, we'll have a finished quilt. And here is the cottage quilt, village quilt, or tiny town quilt, whatever you want to call it, all completed. At least the quilt top is completed. I am so pleased with how this turned out. I even like all the white now that it's together, and I didn't think I would. I may still put a colorful border around the edge in addition to the white border, or I may just put a colorful binding when it's done. This was such a fun quilt to make. I highly recommend it because you only made 8 or 9 blocks of each kind, and so you could chain them and they would go pretty fast, but you didn't have to make so many of one kind that you got bored with it. And I am not fond of quilts that every block is exactly the same. So I really enjoyed this, and I will make this again. There's no doubt. Trying different color palettes, and it was just a fun quilt, and it all came together exactly like it was supposed to. I don't have any points that are cut off, I don't believe. There's a couple of them that are really close, but I think all my points came out, and yeah, it was just a joy to sew. Now I will probably put together a compilation video of all of the blocks and into one long video, which will be hours long, and that's why I didn't do it all as one to begin with. But if you would like to watch it from start to finish, I'll probably have that out by next weekend. I'm going to have to do some editing on it and everything, but hopefully by next weekend I'll have that one out. Also, I'll put a link to the playlist of all of them in the comments. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you learned something from it, and I hope you'll try this pattern. If you would, please like, subscribe, share, turn on the notifications, comment, whatever helps you helps me. I appreciate each and every one of you, and that you I'm blessed that you are willing to tune in and watch me sew these up. So I think our next quilt will be a Dresden plate quilt. I have been wanting to make one. I have the fabric and the pattern, and I'm wanting to make it for my bed, so it will be a king size. I've been wanting to make it for a long time, but it uses jelly rolls, so I thought that would be a good one to do next. Hopefully in a couple of weeks I'll have that video out. Okay, thank you again for joining me, and remember, whatever you do, do it to the glory of the Lord. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.